Hello, everybody. I'm just doing a little bit more to the Vincent. I just thought I'd show you a little bit on the chrome foil. I think I've talked in other videos on other bikes that I've done about the uses of chrome foil. And I tend to struggle with I'm a bit of a fanatic really on chrome. I've tried paints and bits and pieces over the years. I mean, I've tried Alclad, and it's quite good, but it just doesn't ever gives you that kind of sort of pop that I really like. So I've always been a big lover of chrome foil, which is the bare metal stuff. This video is not sponsored, by the way, so I'm not being paid to say this. It's just that over the years I've found chrome foil, um, and I've just been a lover ever since. Really, it's not the easiest stuff to put on, I'll admit, especially on curved surfaces. Going around obviously tanks and mud guards. I've had issues with it, but certainly on flat surfaces, it's quite good stuff really, and you can do so much with it. I think I talked about on the Kawasaki build that you can use like a Scotch Brite with it, and you can give it a brushed effect. Well, talking on this one, this is obviously I haven't got any brushed effect on it, but you can polish it. So I'll show you. Basically, this is one of the front discs, if you can see. It's like well, it's not the disc, it goes around the drum actually. And this is basically chrome foil being put on, and then it's being polished. And it's not being polished with a buffing wheel, because you can't really buff it very well with a machine, with like a Dremel type of device, because it can rip the chrome, because it's only very, very thin. And I must say, the new stuff, the new improved adhesion one, is brilliant. The older stuff I've had in the past has been terrible really on some of it. It used to craze, and the glue there didn't seem to be any glue on it. It just used to fall off. Where the new improved stuff, it's really, really good. The only downside is if you have to get it off, there's a lot of glue residue that gets left behind. So if you make a mistake, and you have to get the glue off, it can leave a lot of residue behind. Well, it does leave a lot of residue behind. The way to get rid of it is, you've got a little bit of IPA, isopropyl alcohol. Just put a little bit on a rag, and just give it a wipe down, and it will come off. Just be careful with your paints, especially on like water-based or acrylic-based paint. You have to be really careful if it's gone onto an acrylic-based paint. But generally, most of the time, people put it on plastics. The reason why I say you need to get the glue off, if you reapply the chrome foil on top, the glue can make it look rough. So you need to get the glue residue off to give you a nice smooth surface again, and then you'll be good to go on putting some more chrome foil on. So what I'm going to show you is this one bit. This one's been polished, and there, look, and this one hasn't. So this one's as it would come out off the sheet of chrome foil, and then this one is the one that's been polished. So you can see it really pops on the shine. Something you will never get with paint. I've seen some good things on Alclad. It looks good, but it just doesn't just pop enough for me. And so this is the reason why I mess about, really, bugger about with it, as some people would say. The chrome foil, I've thrown more away than I've actually used sometimes. But when you get results like that, as you can see, I think you'll agree, it's really, really good. So people are going to probably ask, what do you polish it with? Well, basically I polish it with a stuff called Autosol, which you can generally buy from any car accessory shop, and it's designed to polish chrome or aluminium on bikes and cars, the old style chrome. It's basically just a white paste that you put on, and all you basically do is get a rag, and you basically just apply a small amount. In fact, let's do a little bit. Let me get a bit of rag. So what I'll do half of it on that other one, and you don't need a lot of it, because the stuff is obviously quite thin, and you're just going to be a little bit careful how to use it. So I'm going to try and keep it in focus. So all you do, and you'll know it's working, because you'll start to see it turn like a black. It goes because it picks up the oxidation from the chrome, and it starts to go a little bit of a black colour. So just go easy, don't go mad with it, especially if you've got little rivets in there. You don't obviously take the chrome in off the rivet. And obviously you can always reapply, as you can see on the rag. Now don't do this if you've obviously painted any surfaces. It can only be done on chrome foil because obviously the chrome foil is a metal anyway. So you're just basically just polishing the metal. So give a little bit of polish on there. Sometimes you can let it dry. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to buff. I'm just going to go straight ahead for speed and basically just get off the chroming effect. So it's not really a lot, really. You don't need to go mad. And as you can see, you can probably see the line where my finger is, where I've stopped. You can do. You have got to be a little bit careful on the edges of your chrome, because you can take the edges off. So less is more. I've even used like a little cotton bud, and then obviously, but after that, you just got to be careful because you leave finger marks on it. Now it will over time probably dull down again a little bit. I don't know what chrome foil is actually made out of. It can lose its edge a little bit, but it never goes back to the original finish. So it does last a fair while. The Brush Superior, I did the tank like this, and it's still as, I wouldn't say it's as good as a day I did it. I could probably get a little bit more of a luster to it, but it weathers, let's just say, a little bit in. It does dull down a little bit over a period of time. But as you can see, it gives you quite a good result. So I've always used chrome foil, and as I say, it's always been a go-to thing. Now the polishing will depend on what you've got it on. If you're using it as probably trim on cars, on doors and things, I'm not saying you can't polish it, but you just got to be really careful because obviously the thinner the amount of chrome foil, this is quite a large surface area that I've obviously put it on. So it's got a good adhesion. If you're only putting very thin strips on, say along door edges and bits and pieces like that, you've got to be extremely careful. And also, if you're actually putting it on door, saying that, if it's actually on the model, so it's like a door trim, be careful because this stuff could probably scratch your paintwork. So you might have to mask the area off with some tape if you wanted to do this method. I'll try this method, but give it a go. If you can, just because it's not just the end of the day. What I'm trying to say is, just because you buy chrome foil and you cut it off and put it on, that's not the end of it. You can do a little bit more with it, and just try experimenting. This is the reason why I found this. I mean, when you think, I thought when it wanted a bit more of a shine, I thought, well, what could you use? And I tried, some of the compounds that you would use for paint, where they tend to be aggressive enough for metal. So they didn't really work. They did give it a little bit of a polish, but not as much. And then I thought, well, the old days I used to use Autosol, and I managed to find us the tube, which it would last you probably 100 years if you use it more than the amount you use, unless you've got a lot of body work to do. If you've done a whole car in chrome, if you wanted to do a chrome, the complete vehicle in chrome, then obviously it would look amazing. If you wanted to obviously to give it a complete polish, so you would obviously use more. But I thought I'd just give you a show, give you a look, and I try and do all the chrome pieces. I started doing the mud guards. These have been chromed again. It's been foiled, so these will need a polish. So the chrome foil's gone on. I put the chrome foil on, but it will need a bit of a polish just to finish it off. And obviously try not to handle it as well. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope that helps. Leave a comment below if you've got any other ideas. We're all modelers together. We're always learning. If you found another way of using chrome, or if you found another polishing compound that works as well as or better, that's easier to get hold of or whatever, drop it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.